This video is going to be a little different than my usual video. Usually I do upload updates and elaborate on them the best that I can, and we do have a lot of updates coming, some things we don't know yet, but I want to give my thoughts on some of those as well. But really the focus on this video is me wanting to share how much I'd like to see Kombat Pack 3 come to fruition. Since Mortal Kombat 1 has started, comparing that to where we are now, it's made a huge change. It's very fair to share that MK1 had some setbacks, especially starting out not having crossplay, which there really is a lot to talk about on this. I will be a little scatterbrained because there really is a lot to talk on this topic. I'm going to share my biggest reasons for myself, and for KP3, I really want to see more characters in the game. Now, even if KP3 doesn't continue, I think this will still come half true. Whatever's finished in development, I have a feeling NRS will give those characters to us. I think it's fair to share that Mortal Kombat 1 didn't get a lot of marketing. It did have some marketing, it showed up on commercials, Ed Boon went on Hot Ones, but in the big picture it doesn't feel like it got a whole lot. Mortal Kombat 1 truly is one of the funnest Mortal Kombat games to play in MK history. This becomes one of the more controversial takes for some people, saying that the combos are too long, or there's not enough defense mechanisms to break away from people executing these long combos. But personally, I think they nailed it. I think having 3 bars for 1 breaker as a sacrifice is perfect. The game should make you feel a little tense when you're playing it. That's making it immersive. You should feel like you need to play defensive or aggressive or watch how you fight. In other words, Mortal Kombat 1 is less forgiving to button mashers. It's much more difficult to button mash a 20-hit combo when you have to pause in between certain inputs. It feels more fair to the player that knows how to play the game and has put the time in. MKX is super aggressive with the run feature, which I think is great, and I do like how Mortal Kombat games are separate from each other. For someone that's never played Mortal Kombat before, I would think it would be easier to put them on MK11 than it would be MK1, because in MK1 you have to teach them how to tie in with Cameos as well. And for me, there's a lot of charm here with Cameos. I do understand that the fans didn't ask for an assist fighting game and they rolled the dice on this, and I think it turned out great. I think it's a lot of fun being able to choose from this many different characters. I mean, truly a cameo really is like a variation, but the difference being there's some sacrifice there that your cameo is actually existent. They can get punched and knocked out. They can add hit points to your main character as support. Some are great for defense, some are great for offense, and that's the beauty of it, is because there's so many different options you can use to connect with your character. I really prefer this over the variations of MKX or MK11 where you just have a few different options on each character. That to me feels like here's a few moves and here's another few moves, but you're gonna miss out on one when you pick the other, and that is the way you have to go about it. The same could be argued for Cameos, but these are way too many moves. You can't apply these to every character. I mean, you can, and that would be crazy, and that would probably be a lot of fun, but I don't know if the inputs would be realistic if they could cram all that in there. And no, I don't mean that as in like they should do that as like a main feature of the game, but something silly like test your luck. Imagine having all these moves. For me, the way I view Mortal Kombat 1 is one of the funnest fighting Mortal Kombat games, so I don't want to see it end soon. And maybe MK1 is a little more difficult to learn than the other MK games, as in it's not as casual as the rest of them, but I think that's a really good thing because MK11's perfect for that. I think it's a great game to play if you just want to pick it up and hit some buttons. Of course, you can get better at MK11 and get some combos down, but I think MK1's more intricate. Also, with the defense mechanics of MK11, I don't like all the breakaways and the options to reward the person that's losing the match. Again, I do think Mortal Kombat 11 is fun, but I do prefer Mortal Kombat 1's combat. Now, speaking on terms of the story in Mortal Kombat 1, I think it was great up until around the end when Titan Shang Tsung came out and then all the timelines were revealed. It's easy for me to look past this because genuinely I do just play it once and go through it, and then after that the rest of my Mortal Kombat experience in any MK game is playing against other people. Now, that is the majority of where my game time goes. I really do like to play offline as well to accumulate things for my character so I can customize them. Even at a young age, it's always been the most fun for me to play against another human in Mortal Kombat. But continuing on with the story, I'm going to touch on Chaos Reigns for a moment, and I'm going to say that I enjoyed Mortal Kombat 1's vanilla story more than I did the DLC of Chaos Reigns. I'll say on paper, I think Chaos Reigns really could have been delivered well because the MKX comics did a good job forming Havoc. Unfortunately, this area of the game felt a little off, having Liu Kang's Havoc on our timeline feeling kind of meaningless, and then this Titan Havoc being the face of Mortal Kombat now as the main antagonist. But I didn't feel like they really fleshed out Havoc and his story. If we're gonna focus on Titan Havoc, then I think they should have focused on his story and more of what his involvement meant. I think one could fairly argue not having Hotaru in here to be that counterbalance like in the 3D era was a missed opportunity as well. But again, the story doesn't decide how much I play the game, and I'm not downplaying it either. I can enjoy what we have for what it is, but the character development and the interactions is much funner in the original than it is in Chaos Reigns for me. With that being said, I don't think the bar is set that high for Mortal Kombat to beat that story if they're gonna do a story for KP3. I would be happy with just a bundle of characters for KP3. Of course I want a story as well, but if we can't get that, I'm still gonna be happy with having this roster fleshed out more, even if that's all we get. For those of us that really like the 3D era games, this is supposed to be our love package. This is supposed to be our Mortal Kombat game. And speaking on KP1, unfortunately we only got Quan Chi from the 3D era, but even that can be argued because he was an MK4. Ermac is from the arcade era. Fast forward to KP2, Sector and Cyrax were arcade era as well, and then we have guest characters. But I'm not complaining entirely because I do like seeing Takeda and some of the other characters that are really cool in the game as well. I think Mortal Kombat 1 has continuously got better, and I feel like they've heard the fans regarding buffs and nerfs. We've seen a lot more buffs on characters and new moves being added to the game versus how many nerfs we had previously. Season 8 of Mortal Kombat 1 felt like prime Mortal Kombat for me because the shrine was full, the invasions was brand new, Towers of Time was new. When I say invasions was new, I mean it was a new Mesa boss with new content in all the Mesas. And if every season had a new invasions, a new Towers of Time like the rotations we're getting now, with the seasonal store that you can also buy new pallets and gear from, and then throw in a full shrine on top of that, I feel like that's a decent season. I feel like there's opportunity for growth here. We already have some great things now. I know not everyone likes invasions. It's also a way to earn things in the game that doesn't lock you into just one option. Seasonal towers also very fun. It's a nice rewarding system of its own. This takes some time to complete, and there's usually some decent rewards in there. But as a community, it's something we all voted on early on, around Season 2 or Season 3 when NRS wanted our feedback. They wanted our advice on how to go forward, whether that be invasions or a new game mode. I would say we could even run through these 8 seasons again like we're restarting now, and then by the time we get through these 8 seasons, they could have new characters for the Mesas. If invasions and Towers of Time could continuously stay updated with the Shrine and Seasonal Store, maybe that sounds like a lot, but if they could like it was in Season 8, I would be set. I had a blast during Season 8. If I had to choose between the two, I would really like to see the online features expanded on. This game is so much fun. It feels like a big tease because right now not knowing sucks. I really would like a Kombat Pack 3, whether that's going to elaborate more on the online features or the offline features or maybe both. In fact, I think I would rather have a Kombat Pack 3 with new characters and more attention to offline features and online features instead of a cinematic story. I really think Mortal Kombat 1's came a long way, and it really is overhated. I mean, truly, I do believe we're not going to see a cameo assist Mortal Kombat fighter, maybe ever again, unless it's like a feature. But it's not going to be a main feature like this one, and I really enjoyed this one because cameos are a lot more funner for me than variations. And I'm okay with the next one not having cameos. I really enjoyed this one. And with that being said, that's why I wanted to go out with a bang and not feeling like it's half complete. With that being said, I want to know your guys' takes on this. I'm really hoping for KP3. Fingers crossed. I want to see some new characters, some new stages, and more updates. These recent hints from NRS, whether it's Floyd being in the Conan gameplay or them responding to someone in the Combat cast, does give me some hope. Let me know what you guys think of MK1 and KP3. Like and subscribe for more. I plan to go live here soon, so I will see you live and or in the next video. Much love and take care.